Hello everybody, this is Sci-Fi Junket again on this lovely, wonderful Monday afternoon. And I thought I'd go ahead and make a video because today happens to be Occupy Wetumka. This is the day that it's happening. And matter of fact, as of recording this video, it should still be happening because it was happening about a couple of hours before making this video. So let's do a little backstory. This year we had three City of Wetumka Board of Commissioners seats up for vote. Now, as we get closer to the time that it's supposed to be voting, we start getting a number of booklets, letters, whatever you call them. We started getting them, and we were getting them maybe a couple months before the whole voting thing happened. During that time, my mother actually decided that she wanted to go ahead and vote, and apparently she was considered to be an inactive voter, even though I don't remember her actually registering to vote here in Hughes County. The last time I remember her actually being registered to vote was in, I believe, Oklahoma City. So it's been quite a while. But anyway, she got told that she's an inactive voter and she just needed to get a voter deal bobber filled out and then have it sent off and then press the change it. Actually, it didn't seem to take very long, surprisingly enough, because she went and did it. And when it came to voting, she went in there and voted. I had some stuff I needed to do, so I had to do my thing. And when I got back, she was done. Now, mind you, I don't see the point of voting because, in my opinion, everybody's paid for in one form or another. That's my opinion. I'm sure I'll get a crap ton of freaking comments for it. Like, well, you're part of the problem. No, I'm not part of the problem. No. That's like saying that the people that make cigarettes didn't know that all the other chemicals that they put in the cigarettes weren't, making nicotine more addictive. Yeah, they didn't know that. Anyway, so she does her little voting thing. We finally find out. I don't remember if it's through newspaper or if it's through freaking pamphlets being mailed out to everybody or whatever. But somehow we find out that the new people got voted in, the old people got voted out, and then the very strangest thing happened. Now, if you guys remember, I actually did I believe I did a video about how I attempted to pay the electric and they would not take the payment because they said it was a partial payment and it was against the law to take a partial payment and that they had to make a city ordinance to accept a partial payment. Now, I am not really sure why all of a sudden taking a partial payment is a problem, since the other people that before them, because once the new officials got voted in, everybody pretty much left in the office. So they got brand new people in City Hall. Brand new people. Yeah, and that's when I got told that, oh, well, by the way, we can't take partial payments. And now, mind you, my mother had it planned out that she would at least attempt to pay the previous month's bill, so we could keep, at least keep the lights on and all this other stuff in here. And the bill that I was paying for was that month's bill. It was actually last month's bill. Yeah, it was actually the current month's bill that I was trying to pay, and they said it was a partial payment. Yeah. And so, what's even funnier is that they didn't even have the records for the payment that I made that was actually for last month's. So it's like it's a left-hand right-hand situation for City Hall. When it gets to the point where I have to get a printout from the bank to prove that your credit system decided to take the money out of the bank took it from our account to your account, that's when problems start happening. And they use the same banks that we do. Anyway, we finally got it situated. But that's when, as soon as the new officials happened, the new officials moved in, that's when problems start to happen. That's one of them. In fact, I was told they had to have a new system altogether because they couldn't get into the old system. So, yeah. Anyway, you should have seen, if you're here in Oklahoma or in Wetumka, we actually did make news because of the new officials and the police, the police department. Police department was under the assumption that everybody was going to get fired when the new officials came in, and so everybody got resignation letters readied. So whenever the police chief got fired, that everybody else would leave. Well, the police chief didn't get fired until the 10th of, or strike that, the 12th of June, which is 5 days ago. And what happened was the chief got fired, no explanations, and everybody else left. Yeah. And right now we have a retired police officer. Now I don't personally count him as an actual police officer, not because he's a police officer that by himself. I don't count him as a police officer because he's retired. He's only working this job because no one else wants it. Now, but he officially is the police officer, the only police officer in Wetumka. But I don't really want to count him because he's retired. He's in my opinion, he's risking his retirement funds just to work at a place that no other police officer wants anymore because the police chief got fired. Which leads me to believe that the police department was in the good old place, using the good old boy system, and that kind of sucks. I mean, it kind of sucks that they decided to leave. It kind of sucks that the police chief left, but they were all corrupt anyway, so it doesn't make no difference. But the problem is, I'd much rather have corrupt police officers instead of no police officers. And in fact, now, I mean, granted, we have one police officer. This place is not all that safe. It was not even that safe with the police officers in it. Now it's even worse. Now, if you guys remember, if you guys have actually seen a couple of my videos, I do remember doing one about how I attempted, or I'm still attempting, to be the Wetumka Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners, where I actually carefully put the letter of interest together and gave it to City Hall, because City Hall actually it's supposed to be the mayor that's supposed to be the one hiring, and when it comes to Board of Commissioners everywhere else, for housing authorities and all. Now, as you guys know, or don't know, or may not know, I actually work for the Wetumka Housing Authority as their freelance IT guy. Matter of fact, they're my only customers. And the executive director there asked me if I heard anything back from the city of Wetumka about my letter of interest, because even he hasn't got anything. He has to track down the mayor. He has to track down the city manager, just to find out. Oh, well, it's been tabled because they didn't know the guys that are applying for, were interested in it. There's only 2 guys, me and one other guy. Literally, just 2 guys, and they didn't know us personally. See, as you can really tell, there's a number of problems creeping up with the new city officials. Now, Saturday, which the 15th of this month, I believe it was the 16th of this month. Yeah, 15th. I noticed that they had a flyer at Super C, which is the only grocery store here in Wetumka that has, like little bulletin board things where you just, thumbtack stuff up. And they actually had the time of when this Occupy Wetumka was going to happen. Well, they brought up a number of issues. First, they want the police back, which I do, somewhat agree with. They want the canine police unit back, which I can actually somewhat agree with. They want the city workers back, which I don't entirely agree with, since they left. Either they left or they got fired or whatever, but since they are gone, we've had less problems with power. Matter of fact, the only time that the power went out since they left was yesterday. And that's because, the storm was finally, major enough for a knockout to power, or, because it was sometimes, weather here in Oklahoma gets kind of a little hairy. And it was kind of getting a little hairy. Granted, me and my mother's personally given up on going to the public shelters because, well, everybody else in this lovely housing authority think that they're better than everybody else, and so we pretty much just gave up on it. So, anyway, we've already decided not to even go to the public shelters anymore because of that. But yeah, it was getting kind of hairy, and that's literally the only time the power went out since the city officials the new city officials went in office. But the issues they brought up, if I remember right now, mind you, they've taken down the flyer. I don't know if it was the people at Super C. I don't know if it was the cops, or I should say cop, or if it was the protesters themselves. But the flyer is gone, so I'm having to try to remember what all was on the flyer. The issues on there, though, was, if I remember right, the city mayor is supposed to be an alcoholic. I think it said some other official is supposed to be a pedophile. It's like the issues that they're bringing up. I mean, granted, they're pretty crappy and off the wall issues, but they're bringing them up because somehow they know. How do they know? Because I can't verify any of the issues that they brought up. So I don't know if the city manager is truly an alcoholic. I don't remember. I don't know if one of them happens to be a pedophile. And if one of them is a pedophile, then how can that be a problem? Are they letting kids in their office and leaving them there? That's the only way I can see that being a problem. And the way the city hall is run now, anyway, you can't even unless you know them. You can't even go out and can't go see any of them. There's no public venue for people to see any of the lovely, wonderful officials unless they know you. And I say that personally because with me trying to be a board of, and be a commissioner in the Wetumka Housing Board of Commissioners, to be told that, oh, well, we're going to table that because, well, we don't know the two guys that are interested in it, shows me that the officials here in Wetumka, the actual city officials, they're using the good old boy system. Now, as I said before, when it comes to that, there's supposed to be a lovely, wonderful. Let's see, where is it? Okay, June, July. So there's supposed to be another Board of Commissioners, City Board of Commissioners meeting on the 8th. If what I've been told is correct, that it's the second Monday of every month. Now, granted, I tried to ask the people that worked City Hall when the next Board of Commissioners meeting for the city was, and they didn't know. Matter of fact, they didn't even know if it was public or private. And I actually had to go back to my customer, Wetumka Housing Authority, and ask the executive director if he knew when the Board of Commissioners meeting for the city happened, and if they were public and private. I shouldn't have to do that. People at City Hall should very well know if it's public or private, when it's going to be, what time. Yeah, so it's right now, literally, the city of Wetumka is a left-hand, right-hand situation. Nobody knows what they're supposed to be doing. Now, if you see if you've actually kept track of some of my videos, I think I actually made a video about me attempting to make a payment on my electric, and they said, "Oh, well, it's against the law for us to take partial payment and all the other stuff and blah blah blah." But I actually did finally get that sorted out. I had actually print out my mother, because it's my mother's money and everything, and I'm her caregiver. And so my mother went to the bank's website, and it actually shows when they took it out of our account and put it in, because everybody uses the same bank here for the most part. I'm sure, because we only have one bank, we only have one grocery store, we only have one. Actually, we literally only have one gas station. We only have one liquor store. At least I think it's still open. I'm not for sure on that. I haven't really had a chance to get to it in a couple of years. We did have a feed store. Don't got a feed store anymore. So yeah, we pretty much have one of a couple of things. Yeah, but oh crap! You know what? I actually forgot what I was going on at. But anyway, it's so oh crap. Anyway, as it stands, the city of Wetumka is not in the best condition, and people are finally tired of it. I mean, after all, the voting. Let's see, it's June. I believe it was in May. Yeah, I believe it was May, and then let's see. No, it might have been April. It's either May or April of when all this is going down, and oh yeah, I remember now. So, as I'm making the payment, because I actually remember I was talking about making a payment for my electric. So as I was making the payment for electric, I start overhearing the two guys behind me. Now I'm only going to guess that they are either city commissioners, or maybe one's the mayor or whatever, or something along that lines. Either way, they're talking about what was written in some sort of paper. And come to find out, the city manager is supposed to, the city of Wetumka, city manager and a number of other people had to make adjustments to the financials to make it where they kind of looked halfway decent, where they didn't look like they were losing money, and they were purposely just rearranging stuff. Now, mind you, I was trying to make a payment to pay the electric that the city of Wetumka is charging us, charging the people that live here. And, electric here runs anywhere from 150 to 250 bucks for us. And it varies every month. It doesn't stay constant. Especially the times that we very rarely use the freaking AC. Yeah, so they were talking about what the city manager and all that stuff was, it was written about the city manager and all this stuff in this paper. And then this lady said, okay, so how are we going to fix this memo problem? Apparently they have a problem with memos. They were on the verge of breaking their own law to deal with memos. They required, 3 signatures on a memo. They were going to go ahead and just make one person sign it and be done with it. Further problems, as you will, that's more problems that the city of Wetumka officials were willing to break their own laws, because why not? They don't see the point of staying within their laws. And it's just, I'm sure that they've probably broken more laws that I don't even personally know about. And with that being said, I greatly, I understand what people are the way the people that want things to change back to where they were because it worked. Well, I mean, yeah, it worked, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were following the laws either. Personally, I think that the new officials here in City of Wetumka are in violation of their oath, and they're just making do with breaking laws that do not does not serve them, that actually serves the people and protect the people. But that's my personal opinion, and if that's true or not, I have no clue if that's really happening, but that's the way I feel the city of Wetumka is, working this very minute. Now, the Occupy Wetumka, I have no idea how long that's going to last. It may just be for the day. It may go into tomorrow. But if you want to, participate, just, you go ahead and participate. Just don't start any fights. Don't bring guns. Don't bring weapons. Don't bring anything that'll be harmful to the other people. Don't just stand out there with your signs. Try to get people support and all this stuff. You'll be fine. Because there are some people like me that if you're going to start crap, we'll solve it. That's all I'm going to say about it. So, with that being said, I didn't even intend for this video to be as long as it is. As you guys very well know, that normally my videos are rambling videos, and hopefully I stayed on point, because I did try to stay on point, more than usual on this video. And if you liked it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you want to comment. Do you when it comes to to, you know, interacting. And if you don't want to interact, that's fine with me. But as a caregiver, this is one of the things I do, which is to make videos. Now, streaming, the stream might be a little late because sometimes AT&T wants to, you know, crap all over stuff that I try to do, and this is one of the things they decide to crap on. So the stream might be a little late, but as I said before, I do thank you for lasting as, you know, long in the video. And if you didn't make it, I do sincerely apologize. And yeah. So remember, when it comes to protests, be peaceful and don't start crap. So until next time, don't have too much fun.